Good afternoon. My name is Max Maxwell with the Office of External Relations and Development with Kentucky State University. Welcome. It's nice to see you here. Give yourselves a round of applause for looking so fabulous. We are here to salute Dr. Harold R. Benson for everything that he did for Kentucky State University. And it's also a farewell because he's leaving Frankfort, Kentucky and moving to South Carolina. He will definitely be missed. And at this point in time, I would like to bring up our president, President Raymond M. Burse.
Good morning. It's indeed my pleasure to welcome all of you here this morning to an activity that started on June the 4th. My board chair didn't know it, but something that I knew had to be done, would be done, and in time, done correctly. Let me first start by, I think there are 4 of our regents here, our board chair, Dr. Karen Bearden, our faculty regent, Dr. Elza McFadden, our staff regent, Travis Haskins, and our student regent, Brianna Smith, is here too. So four of the 11 are here. So I want to say thank them for. You know, when I came to Kentucky State in 1982, I was young, wild, I had all kinds of ideas, things that I wanted to get done, and quite frankly, you know, there wasn't much people could tell me. In time, I learned an awful lot in regards to what was going on, what we were doing, and how things were to be done. In arriving at Kentucky State in 1982, I found something they called land grant programs, but it was 2 things. There was extension over here and there was research over here. Extension was run by Harold Benson. Research was run by Lionel Williamson. And my question to them all the time, do y'all ever work together? And they say, oh yeah, we do. We work all the time together. And as I learned more about land grant programs at the 1890s institution, I learned a lot in terms of what they taught me, what they developed with me in doing that. In those days, people didn't necessarily come forward with ideas or suggestions in terms of what they wanted to do. They would send messages through people. And I got a note one day, or maybe somebody told me, said, they want you to go to Auburn, Alabama, and look and fly down to Auburn, Alabama, to Auburn University, and look at their aquaculture program. And my immediate question is, what is aquaculture? And they told me, you'll come to learn what it is. So we made a plane trip to Auburn, Alabama, and learned an awful lot about aquaculture in an afternoon and a dinner. And then we came back to Frankfort and said, yeah, we're going to do that. Now, how are we going to do this? But, Harold had the ideas, had the know-how, the inclination, and we did it. What he won't tell you, and I will tell you, is the first time we built those ponds over on Alumni Drive, they all leaked. And so we spent all this money, built all these ponds, and now they're leaking. What are we going to do? Of course, there was a solution. We lined them all and built them. We started with, I think, either 4 or 8 ponds and a big holding pond. And you look today at what aquaculture has become to Kentucky State, and to this state, and to this nation, and to certain parts of the world. You know what meaningful and valuable things could be and what they were all about. So we went down the aquaculture road thinking, okay, this is great. We're going to be okay. We don't need to do anything else. And then in late September one year, about 2 days before the end of the fiscal year, they come to the office and say, we identified this farm. Can we buy this farm? I said, you got 2 days in which to buy a farm and use these money and get them obligated. There's no way we're going to ever be able to do that. In usual fashion, they told me, don't worry about it. We'll get it done. And the reason I said that is because we needed approval really of a legislative committee as well as the Department of Finance. And I didn't think we would be able to get it. Somehow the way we finagled it, and we made a purchase of a farm which is part of where we are today. we made that purchase, and the driver for that was Harold Benson. I told you earlier that I raised questions often about whether research spoke to extension or extension spoke to research. What did they share? And I guess in 1986, I guess it was the year, I had another wild idea, is why don't we do a director of land grant programs, then have two people, one person run extension, one person run research, and then all I have to do is ask the one person what's going on with my land grant programs to be able to do it. And so when we made that decision, the obvious choice was in fact to give Harold Benson that job. And I do believe in 1986, Harold, we were the only 1890 institution in the country that had combined this land grant programs under one leadership. So we were in fact pioneers, or you were a pioneer at that particular point in time. You know, I say all that to say that I got the opportunity to ride on the coattails and ideas of an individual who was committed to the program, committed to the institution, committed to the school, committed to the students, and most importantly, committed to the community, who had all kinds of ideas in terms of where he wanted to go and what he wanted to do. So I got to, ride on that coattail and enjoy lots of things. I could go on to tell you many, many more tales about Harold Benson and what he has meant and what he built at the institution. I share one additional thing with you, Harold. I guess when in 1989, Barney Tucker was chair of the board at Kentucky State. And Barney used to, when he would come around, say, guess what? We rolled this rock almost to the top of the mountain, and then some other folks helicopter in, and they're gonna push it to the top. What we're able to enjoy here today at Kentucky State University as it relates to our land grant program is because Harold Benson built the foundation, pushed the rock almost to the top of the mountain, and we allowed some others to helicopter in, including myself, to try to get it the rest of the way. There is no greater way of saying thank you to Harold Benson than one, honoring him today. But the second thing we want to do is, and I feel very strongly about this, is that when you go through life and you make contributions, it ought to be remembered in some way to leave your mark. So the Kentucky State University Board of Regents, on my recommendation a few months ago, made the decision that we are going to rename this farm the Harold R. Benson Research Farm. When you get to serve as president of an institution or any organization, you get to do good things, and this represents, the highlight or one of the highlights on returning to Kentucky State, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. In addition to mayor's resolution. Okay, we have a resolution from the mayor of the city of Frankfort, and we'll have that read now.
To all to whom these presents shall come, whereas Dr. Harold R. Benson, former director of the land grant programs at Kentucky State University, has retired from the university where he served admirably for over 36 years. Whereas Dr. Benson, a longtime resident of Frankfort, Kentucky, began his career with Kentucky State University in 1975 as Cooperative Extension Program Administrator. Whereas the university, under Dr. Benson's leadership, strengthened and enhanced its programmatic expertise in the cultivation and development of agriculture management techniques and countless small farmers throughout the Commonwealth. Whereas Dr. Benson's vision for the land grant programs led to the creation of the aquaculture program, the university's program of distinction, and one of the top-rated university programs in the nation and the world. Whereas the NASIC program Dr. Benson directed for more than 36 years has blossomed into a well-regarded college of agriculture, offering innovative bachelor's and master's degrees to address food security needs and environmental stewardship for decades to come. And whereas the legacy Dr. Benson created and nurtured at Kentucky State University and the Frankfurt community will benefit innumerably future faculty, researchers, administration, and students. Now, therefore, I, William I. May Jr., Mayor of Frankfort, Kentucky, honors the dedicated service of Dr. Harold R. Benson and commemorates the celebration of his esteemed career at Kentucky State University by proclaiming May 7, 2015 as Dr. Harold R. Benson Day in Frankfort, Kentucky.
Just symbolic of the impact that Dr. Benson has had on this community. Earlier, just sort of indicative of that, Dr. Benson and I were talking, and he was talking about getting a posting on Facebook from a young man who had gone online to research Harold Benson and made the statement that, I wanted to emulate and grow up and be like you. This is somebody that he never touched personally, physically in terms of appearance, but someone who saw his achievements and said, I want to do that. And Harold, we're all, and myself in particular, very, very proud of the contributions that you have made to this institution, and even more prouder than the contribution that you made to each one of our individual lives, for us to have had the opportunity to have you in our lives and to give us wisdom, guidance, sometimes a little grief, but it's okay. But it was all for an objective that we now see that is now being realized. So with that, I give to you all Dr. Harold Benson.
Good afternoon. I don't know about you. This is one of the happiest days of my life. Amen. If you see me crying, you might want to join me. But these are sincere, genuine, nothing phony about me. Feelings of sincere thanks and appreciation to all of you. For without support, the love, the criticism, and that happens too, I wouldn't be the person that I am today. To members of the board, to my illustrious, esteemed president, to faculty, student body, my family, Lane Rank, even though my presence is sometimes void, I'm still a part of the family. I bid you welcome for this auspicious occasion to honor such a meager person as I. A young man that grew up in the sands of the lowland of South Carolina that picked cotton, picked watermelons, cantaloupe. Poor as dirt, but I still knew I was somebody because everybody else around me is in the same shape. I thank you all for your presence. Thank you for your support. You don't know what this means to me. It's going to be hard, I'm going to tell you. Don't feel sorry for me because you need to feel as I feel. To have lived in this world for 71 years and you can still look out and see the love. You can see support. You don't know what it feels like until you're loved. A young man once said, one should be able to do 3 things every day. Other things really don't matter. And I hope before the conclusion of my remarks, I'll be able to demonstrate all 3 of them. But number 1, you should be able to tell somebody you love them every day, because life is short. You don't know what it means to say I love you. Another, you should find reasons to laugh. It's therapy. It makes you feel good. Then you should find a reason to cry, to release those anxieties and frustrations that sometimes hold you down. When you have nobody to talk to, you have nobody to lean to, you have nobody to talk. I mean, you feel like you're in this world all by yourself. Just go in the corner somewhere and just cry, and it makes you feel better. So to love, to laugh, and to cry. Those are 3 things that all of us should strive to do every day. You'll be a better person. You wind up in the doctor's office every time. I'm humbled at the opportunity to be back with you today. I was enjoying the sunny, hot, humid, mosquito-ridden, gnat-ridden parts of South Carolina until I got a call late last week and said, Harold, I need you back. For the benefit of this institution, I need you back. Me? What has little me done? So you just don't know. You need to be back. And I thought about the messenger. You can say what you want to say about the messenger, but this messenger that I know has been a good messenger, a drum major from the first day that I met him. It's not about me. It's about the cause. The cause is Kentucky State University. I did not matriculate at Kentucky State. But as the good book would say, no greater love than that I have for Kentucky State. I would walk a mile, not for a Campbell, but I would walk a mile for a good thoroughbred. You gotta believe in the goal that you're trying to reach. When I walked on this campus, September the 22nd of 1975, I'm a little like my mom, who still lives in South Carolina, 4 miles from my farm. She never forgets a date. As in this case, I had the distinct privilege of working for Kentucky State commencing on September 22nd, never forget it. And I walked into that hollowed, overused old infirmary that sat down there, the Jordan Building, not the Jordan River, but the Jordan Building. You know, the Jordan River we all must cross. I felt like I had to cross the Jordan sometime to get to that old infirmary because it had outlived its usefulness, as was the case prior to the messenger having arrived on our campus, as he said, in the early 80s. I was looking for an opportunity to make a difference in the lives of those of whom I was privileged to serve. My first office, you know, these days we get hung up on material things. My first office was in a closet, a supply closet at that. I had to oftentimes lean forward so somebody could go behind me to get a notebook or pencil or pad. But I didn't let it deter my goal for making a difference on behalf of the university. I read the history of Kentucky State by John Harden. And you need to read that sometime if you're an ambassador of Kentucky State. And you appreciate the shoulders on which we stand. You appreciate the shoulders on which we stood at that time. And you had to leave saying, if those pioneers did what they did with what they had to work with, surely to God, I can do just a little bit better. I began with oftentimes what seemed like nothing, but look at us now. We have a place where we can meet. You know, any corner, any closet in this building would be all right with me. Compared to what I had to start with. I could have become very disillusioned with what I had, but I took what I had and I tried with all the help that I could muster and the support that I could get from my staff to build what we now have today. And not rest on our laurels and not worry about whether or not we had carpet on the floor. The first 9 years of my existence on that campus, we moved 9 times. The first 9 years, I moved 9 times until the last hurrah. They say we burnt down Hume Hall. We didn't burn it down. It just happened to have caught a fire. But we took it upon ourselves, and that messenger, he and I had a good relationship. And I went to him one day and I said, we've got to develop some things. He said, Harold, what you talking about? I said, there's an opportunity for us to get some federal dollars to build some facilities on this campus. We need to gain the support of our state senators. We need to do some other things within state, get all our ducks lined up in one direction. and pursue goals. And I was always being a trained lawyer. There were an array of questions that followed, that if you wanted and needed that particular activity, you had to answer those questions. So I had to answer those questions, the result of which, I said, go ahead, let's do it. And I knew when he said, let's go do it, that we were going to do it. As a result, we got Congress to appropriate $50 million for all of the 1890s. There are a lot of things that happened in the middle, but I won't bore you with that. I just want to tell you that not all things are handed to you. Sometimes you have to dream about them before they become reality. This is a dream. I dream of a day when we can sit in a nice air-conditioned building rather than be housed and try to have a meeting down in the old office building down there. But to make a long story short, we got an appropriations from Congress for $50 million over 5 years, and it was partial out per our proposal of need. And you do the arithmetic. We've gotten minimum 7, 8 buildings, each of which represents $5, $6, $8, $10 million each. This building being one, this farm being one. It was all because the messenger, as I call it, very affectionately shared my dream. The dream of the day when Kentucky State University would walk hand in hand with our partner down the road, the University of Kentucky, as an equal partner in research and extension. Limited only by our imagination. I think the day has come. It led us to the point where on that nice cold morning on January the 3rd, 1986, that we finally purchased this farm. 1986, January the 3rd. I had to come back from vacation to be able to finalize the deal on this farm. But we took this farm in its raw form and look at it now. And because of this farm, we have impacted on the lives of individuals. We've impacted the lives of students. We've impacted the lives of this region and this nation, because some pioneering research and demonstrations have been started right here on this farm. Pawpaw, for example. Nobody ever heard of a pawpaw. Heck, I didn't know what it was. I know there's some character that looks like pawpaw. I know there's some other things that are characterized as pawpaw. But you walk across that hill and you see a genuine plant called pawpaw that has the potential of making a difference. And my whole agenda was not to do just status quo. My agenda was to make a difference, to be able to take something to the table with my partner. And to the staff of Land Grant, I owe you my everything. I just wish that I had a checkbook that would support a check for more than $1, I would write each one of you $1 million because you persevered. You were out here in the mid-summer days, the cold winter days, forging your way and doing everything that you needed to do. Didn't have to stand over your shoulder because you shared the dream. It wasn't easy. We still weren't where we needed to be, but we continued. My high school principal, and I know many of you can begin to roll that wrist. How much longer is he gonna talk? My stomach's getting hungry. You know, I don't even wear a watch anymore. But I promise you, I'm talking about sharing the dream as to why today we come together to say thank you for all that we've done. When I look at my former colleagues, old fishing buddies from the University of Kentucky, stand there. I want everybody to see, all of you. Just stand there. I know I'm getting on dangerous ground. But many of these guys came out of retirement. Well, they all retired for the most part, except maybe two. And we worked hand in hand, day and night, weekends, whenever it was necessary to get the job done. I said thank you. But had it not been for your support, we wouldn't be here today. I see many retirees that are here. And I also think of many people who would be here but have since gone on. We all know who they are. But Pastor Musley, I say thank you for supporting me in any way that you can. There are many community people here that are too numerous to. One of my friends told me yesterday, he said, Doc, don't get up and start calling names because you're going to hurt somebody's feelings if you start calling names. And God knows I'd love to call your name, but I see that wrist going to moving. But my whole motive for doing what I've done, I tried to tally the number of young folk of whom we try to bring to this institution vis-a-vis summer programs and some continuing programs. We started one program that went continuously for more than 25 years, where we have lawyers, doctors, you name it, throughout this nation because of their experience at Kentucky State, sharing the dream. I said, thank you. You know, and I've said all of this, and I've given all these accolades and say thank you, but I'm gonna save the one that counted the most. He's not gonna be last, but he's first in my life. And then I'm gonna bring it home, and I want you to meet the people in my life that helped me to bring it home. People that supported me when I was ready to give up the ship and say, hey, I don't have to do this. I don't have to take any more of these frustrations. I'm out of here. But they would say, hang in there, baby, hang in there. So first in my life is God. With God, all things are possible. If you don't believe it, try it. That's why I'm here today, because I kept him in my life. When times got tough, I needed somebody to lean on. But nobody understood what I was saying, what I was going through, why I was spending my time doing what I did. Only he understood. And then, if I could ask my wife, my daughter, my grandson, just to come forward, please. One of y'all wanted to switch up on that camera and give him a little bit of relief. Now you know why I saved these for last. Because I wouldn't have been able to see anything else. But I appreciate all of you more than you'll ever know. I appreciate being back on Kentucky State campus. Almost 4 years since I last graced this campus. I say thank you, because you made our day. And I want to sum my comments up in the words of a song. I'm tempted almost to sing it for you, but I won't. My old musician sits over here. She says, "Sing it, honey, sing it." My wife, my best friend of 49 years. I do say 49 years. We dated for 4. So that's, if my arithmetic holds true, that's 54 years that we've been in each other's lives. That's a long time. But you know what? We're not tired yet. And my lovely daughter, you know, I'm telling all my secrets. I had a chance to choose a career on Broadway. Where I would have been a performer in Broadway operas. Some of you know that one of my greatest loves is that of singing. And I was offered an opportunity to be on Broadway until I found out that my wife was expecting my first child. And that child was Cherie. And I said, all the positions on Broadway could never keep me away from being a father to my child. So, bye-bye Broadway. But I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna yield to the temptation. I'll sing one verse of a song that is first and foremost in my life. And then I'll shut up and you'll understand. If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can help somebody with a word or song, if I can help somebody if I can just help somebody, if you can help somebody, if I can do my duty as a good man ought, if I can bring back beauty to a world of drought, if I can spread love messages that the masters taught, then my living will not have been in vain. And I just hope that somehow, somewhere, my living at Kentucky State has not been in vain. I thank you, and I thank my family for being here with me. Thank you very much.
Dr. Benson, I think everybody in the room will attest to the fact that your living has not been in vain, because you've left an indelible footprint upon each of us, and more importantly, upon this campus. You know, Harold got to his family and introduced them. There are several other people in the room. I introduced Regents earlier, and he had one stand up. But we used to joke. Where's Chuck at? Where's Chuck? Chuck and I used to have a running joke, Chuck Lambert, is that, and Dr. Little, stand up. You stand up too. Stand up. Stand up. We used to have a running joke. The team at UK was Dr. Little and Charlie Barnhart. At Kentucky State, it was Harold Benson and Lionel Williamson. So they used to come in my office, and I used to tell them, I'm not going to have any of this Little and Barnhart crap. Get it out of here. But we say that in jest because we had a partner with the University of Kentucky in terms of where we were going, and Dr. Little was very instrumental in helping to drive and do that. And so we appreciate what you've done, and more importantly, appreciate you being here today with us to help celebrate with Harold. I said earlier that Harold had pushed the rock almost to the top of the mountain, and then some of us had helicoptered in, I'm being among them, to try to get it the rest of the way. Our current director for our land grant programs is also here, and that's Dr. Teferi Sagasi. Sagasi, will you please stand? And as I look around the room, there are probably lots more I should call out, but I'm going to stop there. Harold talked about 2 retirees. One of you all didn't know, and he didn't say this, Harold Benson never missed a Kentucky State home football game in how many years? About over 30 years, which is absolutely unbelievable. But his seat here, he had one seatmate that was there always in front of him, and that's Dr. Gus Ridgel, and Dr. Ridgel is here. I'd like to recognize him. And then Ken Gibson, when he gave up his coaching, joined them in terms of those bitches of seats. So Ken Gibson, please stand. You know, we all go through life and we try to do things and to address our deficiencies, other things that relate to what we do, try to ameliorate our faults, make changes and move improvements, and invite people back in to the fold to be part of whom we are and what we are. Today, I hopefully that we've made a step in saying to Dr. Benson, to his wife, to his daughter, and his grandson, that Kentucky State University truly appreciates everything that you have done and the things that you will continue to do. And I close by saying, thank you, thank you, thank you for what you've been able to do for all of us. Thank you.
I'm very pleased to be part of this activity, recognizing Dr. Harold Benson, to He left a legacy for us, for all of us. I'm here because of him. And I'm very pleased that he's getting the recognition to, get this farm named after him. So we are not going to let him down. We are going to make this program to grow.
Well, I've worked with the University of Kentucky for 40 years. I've known Harold about well over 30 years. We got to know Harold as a fishing buddy up on Lake Erie. Back in '82, we went fishing several years, switched to Kentucky Lake for several years, and then I was a co-worker with him at university. I was with middle management and made a lot of trips with Harold and been a close friend and a good friend all these years.
Hello, I'm Karen Ramage. I'm currently the Director of County Operations with the University of Kentucky. I've worked with Dr. Benson for 35 years of his career. I started working with him whenever I was a county agent. I had most of my time working with him as a district director, and we worked with small farm programs in Christian County, in Trigg County, and then later I came to the university working with county operations. We had many state extension council sessions together. We brought we had the opportunity to merge our state extension council, so it's a statewide land grant council. We're so proud of it and proud of the fact that we could work together to do that.
Okay, first of all, I want to give thanks to God for allowing this day to happen, because this is something that we have been looking forward to for a very long time. And we want to thank all the people that showed up today for this occasion. We appreciate each and every one of you and thank God for you.
Congratulations, Dad, on your day. You've earned it. Job well done. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Just wanted to say how proud I am to be your grandson, pushing me along through everything, and just want to say congratulations on this, and I guess see you later.